Going on, guys? We're back with part three, the final countdown of the best '90s inserts. I'm Joey Peapod, Rodney Vallejo with me, and kick it off with Rodney's going to kick it off with what is it, your 2B or your
Tier
1B?
two. Yeah, I'm down to tier two and tier one, so not that many left. Um, we'll go on a picture journey here. I'm going to share my screen here. Um, what up, guys? What up, Andrew? So, in my tier two,
Vallejo, egg at Rarest, join.
there we go. So, I only got 16 cards here, and this first one is the bottom of tier two. Um, but it's part of the Frank Thomas collection from '97 Leaf, and I mean it's kind of lost, but this is the first game used patch bat barrel nameplate game used I think cap set that's ever made, and obviously the game jerseys from '97 Upper Deck were the first game used memorabilia in baseball, but Leaf came out shortly after and just blew it away, in my opinion, because they put on, you have pieces of Frank Thomas's nameplate from his bat barrel, patches, his hat. This is from his jersey, and these are all numbered to 100. So, I mean, these, even though it's a Frank Thomas only exclusive, it is a massive premium for any of these cards. I think there's six in the card, six cards in the set. And they look beautiful. Like all of these cards, like this one is the game jerseys you see. The other ones have there's a different color accents around like the game jersey and the signature in the background, even though it's a facsimile, not a real one. So that one is there. And like I said, it's only a Frank Thomas insert, but it's tier two. The next is this one. This is also exclusive to only, two people, Griffey and Mantle. The Griffey Mantle dual auto. These are obviously one of the more iconic cards in general from the '90s. Features obviously Mantle, iconic guy from the golden era, and then Griffey. And I mean, these have really fluctuated in price. I remember like 6 years ago, these were under 2,000, and then like the last 2-3 years, like authentic copies are alone were pushing 10K. We've come down a little bit more, but still, like, it's, even though with 1,000 of these made, they're still highly expensive and really in demand. Obviously, of course, you have people who get the Griffey autograph added on to a Mantle version, but still, you can tell by the way that he signed back in '94 that what an authentic copy looks like. So
Yeah, those were $800 for like ever.
yeah, no. I mean, I sold mine, I remember, in like 2014 for like 1,300, and I thought I got a great price, but oh well.
Can't win them all.
So the next one on tier two are the gold embossed refractors, and I think these are one of the best looking cards ever made in general in any sport. I mean, if you look at this, I took a lot of time trying to capture this picture. And it really kind of captures the atomic refractor foil. And there's also that same pattern on the back for anybody that hasn't held one of these in person. So on top of that, this part of the player cutout is embossed, and then it's die cut with a deckled edge. I mean, these are insanely awesome in hand. It's one of those really, truly cards in hand that you're like, whoa. It kind of just screams like a high-end insert.
Holding it is definitely on the next level. Once you hold it, it's just it feels rich,
It really does. That's a good way of putting it. And I mean, unfortunately, unlike basketball, these are not numbered in baseball. But I mean, I remember reading on the old FCB boards that there's a pretty well-known collector who had a Topps rep and said that there were less than 37 sets confirmed. Of course, you can go by and believe what you want. Either way, there can't be too many of these out there. and they look incredible. So
If I'm not one that guesses, but if I would definitely say it's more than the 37, just because I've owned like 10 of them myself. So it's like I find it hard to believe that number still holds up. But I would say it would probably be around the basketball number, because a lot
yeah,
of the sets, mirrored basketball with you know, the print runs. Like Super Rave was 25, basketball was 50. So,
hmm
37 maybe was what they set out to do, but I don't think it held true to that personally. But
yeah, I agree. I'm not one to on both counts. Like I'm not one to guesstimate print runs. Like I hear that and I go, okay. I don't necessarily believe it. I think it's higher, but I don't even know if I would come up with a number. But I think it is more than that, at least at the bare minimum. That's the most you'll get out of me. So next on the tier 2 are the 98 essential credential futures. Obviously, this set differs depending on the player. So a star player like Chipper Jones, who was already established in 98, these futures are going to be higher, closer to the 100 serial number. And that's the ones I'm referring to. If you have like the the Nomar essential credentials future and that one is pretty low, and I'm not talking about those. So as you can see, the essential credentials future, I mean, they don't really need much introduction or explanation. They're
yeah,
wildly popular in all sports.
most of the stars in the future set are higher numbered, so
Yeah,
it's a fitting spot.
yeah. Next here we got the mirror image atomic refractors from 98 Bowman's Best. For some reason, I feel like these are overlooked. Everyone wants to go after the base atomic from 98, but these are numbered to 25, and yeah, they're dual playered, but it has a crazy atomic pattern that goes with, like, the atomic pattern looks a little bit crazier with the look like rays coming out of the Bowman's Best logo there, and other players have green and silver rays, whereas some like Griffey and the Ripken have red and silver rays. They're die cut too, up at the top here and at the bottom. So
I mean, there is a couple good players that have dual, which is the Beltre, Adrian Beltre and Chipper Jones, and then you have the Frank Thomas and David Ortiz. Are probably like the two better, where both sides are actually good.
yeah, for sure. Griffey was with Ben Grieve. It's probably Ben Grieve's best card ever made. So same with this guy, Ryan Meyer and Ripken.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'll take Ben Grieve over Ryan Miner.
Yeah, same here. Now the starting nines I have a little higher. These are a little polarizing because they're pretty boring. It's just a parallel with blue foil, but there's only 9 of them. Just for the higher, I guess for the players that are established stars, these carry a pretty heavy premium that I think would at least rival some of the other cards here on the tier. So,
I'll say with cards like this, and with the theme of all 90s is no matter how much you think like pricing and what things would go for, I don't think you really do. Like, to me, this is a card you have to sell privately. If that hit open market, I don't think it would hit the numbers people think. That's my opinion on that card. Like all the stars, like you look at like a Jeter checklist, I don't even think it broke $500. So like the fee, you would have to definitely, to me, like some of these cards are like you got to move them privately to maximize like the money out of them. So.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. It's odd that I think there's even a Jeter starting 9 right now still on eBay, and it's been sitting for years.
Yeah,
because it's being asked for a pretty high price that no one's paying. And yeah, like if you, I could support that, trying to sell it private, because you could find 1 or 2 people who would not want it to hit the open market and would pay higher. But then you could also hit a bidding war. You never know. But
it's always a chance to take. I'm always the person that leans towards auctions. In this climate, it's a little different, but overall, somebody told me, what they got for a Griffey checklist, and it probably went for about 5x. I wouldn't even have taken it 5 times less, So
Yeah.
it's how bad somebody wants something is supply and demand, and
Yeah.
finding the right person that's definitely like the card I would say is like the definition of that.
Yeah, exactly. Finding the right buyer, key. Next, I got the Forte quadruples, and these are, numbered to 10. And that purple foil is pretty badass, in my opinion. That's why I have it higher up there. I've seen more mirror image fusion refractors or atomic refractors and starting 9 Griffies, at least pictures of them, than I have of a Griffey Forte. And I've seen other Fortes of other players, 1 or 2, but while upper deck inserts, as we've covered in the 90s, are kind of overlooked and not as appreciated as much, this is one of those ones that I think actually do stand out more so than others, and it can at least hold a candle with some of the other big cards like what you see up here. So after these, I got the Super Raves, and these are polarizing, I think, more so because the design for each player is drastically different. So like this Maddox background with red and green is kind of cool. I think Frank Thomas's, I couldn't find a picture of a Frank Thomas that I wanted to show, but I think his background is awesome. Whereas I feel like a player like Griffey's is kind of I'm a fan too of this pattern that you see on the name, which distinguishes a super rave from a rave and a base. It's actually the same design that they use on the Gem Masters from baseball. But these carry, they're numbered to 25, extremely hard to find. But I think the prices of the basketball super raves really drives up the price, which is why I think I put this card here more so on its value rather than let's say its aesthetic compared to, let's say, like the Golden Boss Refractor or even the Essential Credentials. I'd take these all day over the Super Rave, but the Super Rave at least is still there because of its rarity. So, Ben, you said you saw the starting 9 bonds go off for 12. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Another good point. So you're supporting what Joe was saying. What's up, Chris? What's up, Kevin? After that, I have the purple Kramer's Choice from a Pacific Invincible 98. These are numbered to 10. There are backdoored copies, unfortunately, that are unnumbered. But these are, like, I'll steal a term that you use all the time, Joe, ghosts. Seeing a purple of any player, I see less of these, of this insert, more so than any other insert, I think, in this entire tier. And they're pretty badass, I think. I've never held one in person, but I've always liked the Kramer's Choice design. That dark purple kind of has that royal feel. It feels like in the 90s, everyone maybe copied after Flair and used purple as its like high-end masterpiece, like top insert. You see the Forte quads are purple. Obviously, any masterpiece is purple foil. Pacific uses purple foil for its hardest Kramer's Choice insert ever made. So I wonder if that's a theme that's going on for them. After that, I have the Row Zero Legacies from 97 Flair. These are pretty special because these are the first Legacies ever made from the first Flair Showcase set ever made. And obviously there was Flair and, dating all the way back to 93, but 97 Flair Showcase trying to change the game with the masterpieces, the gold gloves, or the hot gloves, and the Legacy collections. The Row Zeros are they are so more highly regarded than the other Row 1 and Row 2s. And that's why it sits here. And I think it looks distinctly different from the other two. So I think this is one of the perfect examples of demand, because the Row Zero Legacies are just as hard to find as the Row 2 Legacies and the Row 1 Legacies. They're all serial numbered to 100. But the Row 2 and Row 1 Legacies from 97 are in like tier 4. I think what we talked about earlier. And
it's been like that for like forever since I came back. They were always harder to find.
Yeah.
Even
they are harder to find. Yes, that's a good point. the serial number and the rarity is the same, but they're harder to find because people hold on to these, and these don't hit the open market nearly as much as the other two. So after this, we got the Bowman Chrome Golden Anniversary Refractors. And I think I'm going to lump this in the same category as a Super Rave. And I know, Andrew, you said that you love the look of the Super Rave, but the Golden Anniversary Refractors are even less nuanced than maybe any other card on here. It looks like a Bowman Chrome card. The only difference is that the facsimile signature right here is in gold foil, and it's numbered to 5. So when you have 5 copies, it's going to command a hefty premium, even though it's by look and aesthetic isn't much different. And this is where, again, it comes down to like, if you had, the perfect opportunity to pick certain cards out of tier 2, which ones would you go for? Would you go for rarity, the golden anniversary refractors, or would you go more for a card that stands out and look to you? Maybe the golden boss refractors or the fortes. So after that is the PMG set from 99 and 99 metal. And while these are not nearly as popular as the 98s, they're still pretty cool with the gold foil, gold hollow foil. Every base card is embossed too, so you have that going for it. But given how popular the 99 or just PMGs are in general, like these cards, it makes the list easily at the high end of the tier 2 list. After that are the 98 Pinnacle Plus Team Pinnacle Marigolds, the print run of 25. And these are on here just because of their absolute stunning look. I think Pinnacle made the best holofoil out there, had the best holofoil tech, and you can really see it shine through on this. Like, I took a picture of this card, and this is natural light hitting it. It's wild. And these are really, really hard to find. Pinnacle Plus is kind of a forgotten brand. And they were the last set that Pinnacle ever made before that was officially released before they went bankrupt. These are almost never seen. So after this, we have 4 more in tier 2. Rounding out the top 4 at the bottom is the Griffey game jersey auto. And of course, this is specifically only to Griffey. He was the best player in the set by far. And he has 2 versions of his autograph here, and they're numbered to 24. His jerseys are always white, unfortunately. There's no color. If you ever see a different color.
Nolan Ryan, too. That one's pretty good.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan's pretty badass because you see orange. But Griffey's are all white. He has a version that's in hobby, and then he has a version that's in hobby and retail. The one in hobby and retail, I think, is the harder one to find by pack odds, but they're both numbered to 24, serial numbered. After that, I have the 24 karat golds from 99 Brilliance. Some people may, if you look at this bottom row here of the PMG to the 24K, we're talking big.
How many cards you got above this?
10.
Okay.
And like when we're talking about these 5 right here, it's we're talking big money for any player. But I have the 99 Brilliance here. This actually has a piece of 24 karat gold in the logo right here. The 24 karat gold logo right there there's that pieces of 24 karat gold in there, according to the sell sheet. And it's just a gold holofoil, but they just look, well, brilliant. No pun intended. That's a pretty corny joke. Here, I would move this down now. I think the 24 carats and the game jersey Griffies have moved up since I've made this like a month ago. But these future supernatural fusion titaniums are at the top of tier 2, regardless of the order between the 2 of them. And then the last one that I have is I'll stop sharing here because I lost my thing. And the last card I had on my list here was the Star Rubies from 99. And I'll share this one just so we can get a good picture of it.
Yeah, I'll run through the bottom half of my list because I have
Vallejo, egg
Yeah.
at Rarest joined.
So yeah, these 99s Skybox Premium Star Rubies numbered to 50. These are at the top of tier 2. And you could argue that any of those last four, the Brilliance 99 or 99 Brilliance, Star Rubies, even the PMG, that those could all be tier 1, but I had to make some choices. So
well, I have my tier, like the bottom of my tier is like a little different. I have like 45 cards, right? So I'll run through the bottom of let's see here.
yeah.
Like I call it 1B, but it's like 20 something cards.
Yeah.
So we have the Kramer. Oh, where we going? I have the red Kramers. Let's see here. I was trying to find a list on Baseball Cardpedia where was going on here. So I have the red Kramers. Kramer's Choice is one of my favorite sets. They don't really sell as well as I thought. They would catch up to one day, but I just sold a Ripken Gold to 15. It got like $2,000, which actually is pretty good for Ripken. So I mean, maybe the other stars would do pretty well, but just a side note, if I'm actually working with PSA now, as you can see, there's like a lot of space, and two of my this red one and my gold that I got from you got damaged. It mushroomed the top of the card. So now my
when they were grading it,
huh?
When they were grading it,
no, like so literally just tapping the case, the thing moves. So I shipped it. And somebody must have either dropped the case or whatever. Just like literally, you could just tap it with your finger, like barely put anything, and it will move inside the case. So, I'll have to update on how that turns out. But they basically ruined a huge ass, Griffey that was in great condition. So, still crying about that. But the red and the golds look the best in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that sparkle. The scan doesn't really do justice. The flare, established. This one has always been. This one's like really condition sensitive, and there's not too much else in the set. I have the pulsars too, but this one in hand this one's been really popular. It's probably one of the best looking just inserts, not parallels, from the 90s. The Totally Platinums. Again, this is a set that to me, is pretty undervalued. It's been kind of languishing around the same prices for a while. And it does look cool in person. I actually like the subset version better than this one, but
same here.
They do look great in hand, and they're only 30. And actually, right here, I actually bought a box of these one time, which is a complete waste of $300. But as you can see, this is how they came, and then each case. So there's only 999 cases. So somebody better at math can do the odds on how many boxes there were, but yeah, I think there were like platinum gold 1 in 80 pack. So maybe that's part of the reason why too, because there wasn't a ton of product. But either way, it's a beautiful insert that doesn't really sell. Then I have the 99 credentials. A lot of people don't really like these. Actually, I like this set now. It kind of grew on me, especially since I pulled the Chipper Jones. That was crazy money. But again, I kind of like this set.
I like the golds better than the silver. The future's now better than the now. I think I've always liked it.
I mean, and something for the PSA fans out there like myself, the regular set is actually like way more condition sensitive than the credentials, which to me is they're both tough, but like the regular cards are like plastic and scratch easy, and they're always usually dinged. And I think there's only like one Griffey PSA 10, or it's either 0 or 1. So, and then this particular one is like we talked about the 95 Bauman's Best in the last episode, like right across his leg.
Yeah,
and pretty much every one I've ever seen is has damage to it, like a factory print line.
A diagonal line, right?
Yeah. And here's another set, Century Legends. Like this has a deep checklist, Ted Williams. So there's a past and current players at the time, that helped drive this set. And even crappy players can bring like $500. So that set, is just like a staple. 98 Bauman's Best Atomics. A lot of people's, favorite 90, probably top 5 parallel of just like looks, not just.
Yeah.
Purple Crusades. I'm not like a huge Crusade fan, but people do love this set, and like the Griffey photo right here is probably like one of the worst, ever with the foul ball or whatever he's doing. And then we got Grand Finale. Again, this is probably top 3 sets of like people have no clue what they have. So if you ever right here, I don't have like a great. Do I have another picture now? The hologram itself needs to be gold. So a lot of people will list it as a gold. Like basically, if it's at an angle, you can tell like instantly with the silver hologram. Same thing. Basketballs were actually numbered, so that helps. But baseballs were not numbered. All you have to go by is the hologram, and if it's a shitty picture, it's tough to tell. I actually just bought a Jeter, thinking I had a Grand Finale, and it wasn't. So I have to return that with you.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Like the picture, it was like $600. So it was like borderline, like, obviously probably, a steal, but it's also a cheater, which kind of sucks. But I thought like the way he listed it in the picture, I thought it was a Finale. I'm like, I'll take the shot. But it hasn't been easy to return it with their new setup. So I'm still battling with that. But I mean, again, this set, like the Griffey, a lot of players just never come up, Honestly, like I put this up here, I think based on like value, but this set is terrible to me. Like I don't even want the Griffey in it unless somebody like gave it to me, I guess, or I found it in like a super steal. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to get this card. I don't know. It's just kind of blah, but it is, there's only 25 of them. If you're a player collector, obviously you want this, and it's really hard to
find.
It's
wild too in basketball. This set is extreme. Like this version of the Super Rave is extremely popular, and that's a different animal. Basketball.
Yeah, Some of the if we're gonna touch on basketball real quick, somebody posted on Instagram the other day. They were like, "Oh, what can I get for $30,000? A nice Jordan insert," and just the type of inserts that they were showing for $30,000, like would be like $2 in baseball. Like the one that I'll never understand is the Platinum Portraits, Jordan.
Platinum Portraits, yeah.
It's like just like the Jeter is like $2. This is not a set or the linchpins. I mean, it's cool, but it's not like tens of thousands of dollars cool to me. Then I have the Gold Embossed. I tried to take some pictures that these are live, but again. And another thing with these is the different patterns, they pop different. So the one with Chipper Jones, I think it's I forgot what it's called in the background, but the Chipper Jones one was like the best looking one I've held in hand. Like it just popped like a lot more.
Was his a different theme, not power?
Yeah, his was a different theme.
Like competitors or something?
Let's see what
I like the one that Juan Gonzalez has, the gold one that he has. It has a baseball theme. I think it might be the competitors theme. Is badass.
I think it is
Chipper in the Masters set.
Chipper's is Masters, yeah.
Yeah. The that Masters, Jeter and Ripken are in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That one really pops. Then we got. I have these a little low. I'm not like a super fan of this set, just because like all the photos are pretty terrible. That's
a good point about the photo.
I've had the Chipper. I actually got this. This is another one again because it's not numbered. I don't know, my shitty camera, you can't probably see it, but I got a Ben Green the other day for $25, and then the other day a Nomar. I forgot who was on the back, but it only got $200, or I don't know if that was actually
last night.
Yeah, I went off last night, but it wasn't listed as a mirror. Like people just. I don't, you'll find that people that even collect this stuff don't know, which is to me weird, but was a big Nomar guy. Let's see what number I have this at. This is let's look at all. I will keep going. Perfect 10. Again, this is one that literally close to impossible to find. I've only seen one Griffey ever, or maybe two. But it just, if you hold it in hand, like you instantly really just don't even want it because it's kind of boring. I don't know. Like
I hope to one day hold one. We'll see. I'll see what my judgment is.
It feels like a waste of an insert, in my opinion. Like it's cool, but like the fact there's only 10, and it's just uninspired, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would have expected more coming from Flair Showcase.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool, but not the amount of money it takes to get that cool. And then we got the Incredibles, level 2. There's a lot, and same with this set. A lot of different people are different numbered. So like I had a George Brett, like I stole off eBay once. It was numbered to 5. So there's a bunch of different players with low numbers in the set. To their jersey numbers, I believe. So that one's close to the top. And then the choreographies. This one's probably a little lower.
Yeah, I'd put the Incredible ahead of that one at least.
Yeah, I'd put the Incredible ahead of this. I just like the autograph on my Griffey, so it was just like soup for a minute. But overall, this set doesn't actually sell that well compared. Like a lot of them, I always say this too. Our opinions with these top of the list, you could definitely interchange a bunch of it.
Yeah. For sure.
Depending, especially on what player you're picking. But yeah, this I would switch those two. Then we got the 97 Essential Credentials. These are kind of neck and neck with the 98s. I put them back to back. In my opinion, they kind of sell similar. I like the 97s a lot with the holographic background. I've heard some people say they like the regular ones, the 299 better. But I personally like the 90. I like them both, but
I like them. To be picky, really, I like the basketball credentials better. Like it has like a ray pattern. I like it better. And football is kind of similar to this.
I've had some basketball. I like the baseball. They're both cool.
They're both cool. Yeah.
And then the 97 Row Zero, which was always one of my favorite cards. Just in hand, the scan doesn't do it much justice. But there's a Kobe in this year too, which is, if you're a basketball person, like it's a year before, which always trips me out because I don't know all the years in basketball, but it's always like a different year that is considered. Then the 98 Super Rave.
You got a good pop on that picture. That's a good one.
Yeah, that looks pretty. I do like this pattern. I mean, it could have been like maybe a little better, but overall, I do. It's better than the other years, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely better than the 99s for sure.
And then we got the 98 Fusion Atomic. Again, this was always one of my better inserts. And a quick sidebar is I remember Samantha Saints on eBay. It was whatever is Ken Griffey, whatever before. And I remember, I was with everybody else before where everybody just hated on him. Oh, he buy whatever. But then he started buying stuff for me and he was paying stupid money. So I'm like, if he wants to buy this stuff and let it sit, he can knock himself out. And then it turned into literally he just wait 2 years and he was getting, like, I remember he had this up forever at $1,600.
Yeah. I was just about to comment that. I remember I was at Costco. I don't even know what year it was. It had to have been like 2014. And it had been listed at 2,000 for like months, what even seemed like years. And then he had like a sale. You know how I used to do sales? Yeah. And it was like during a holiday season. And I like stopped. I was pushing my cart. And again, like you think about, it's easy to say now, like it was 1,600. And I was like, man, this is like, should I pull the trigger? But back then, that was way over what anybody thought. And even it got me to think like, oh, that's too high. And I passed. And then I think it was gone within a week. So I was like, well, you live and you learn. But
yep. I mean, there would be times I would literally just go through his sales.
Yeah.
I mean, not his sales, because I still feel like he played games with some of his sales. But I would go through his listings, and anything that was close, I would just start buying it, like PSA 10 stuff, because he had a lot
so
of
many PSA 10s.
And, yeah, it's just crazy the stuff he has. There's another one that he had coming up soon. So here's the 99 PMG, which these obviously don't get the love the 98s do, but I think they're getting up there. They're starting to
Yeah, they
appreciate a little
definitely
more.
are.
And these are wicked, super condition sensitive. And just a quick grading note, because there's one day maybe we'll do another grading episode, but
Mhm.
there's a reason a PMG with Beckett, like for instance, most PMGs that are say an 8 or a 9 with Beckett are probably a 6 or a 5 with PSA. Because they just literally I think the shit. Because I had one that was an 8.5. I thought it was gonna be I thought it would be a PSA 5 because it had like residue on the back, kind of cracking.
Yeah.
So I think they just kind of give it like a certain amount of leeway on most of them. I graded this one when I was an amateur. I might try to cross it one day just for the hell of it. But just to give background on grading and why I think PSA on some of the stuff carries like a little premium.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. So this is Star Rubies. So this is So after this one, I got on a. All right, so yeah, this is my 1B second place. So Rubies.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if this had a Griffey batting pose, I think this would compete with anything else.
Being tier 1.
I think it would be tier 1, close to the top.
Yeah.
If I had
that's funny. We're both in the same. We have this at the top of our tier 2.
Yeah, this is top tier 2.
Yeah.
And then this is one of my favorite cards. So maybe biased, but I have no idea what this would even sell for, especially with a mushroom top now. But it's sad.
Damn.
But actually, let me see real quick. All right. So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I'm gonna do 10 more, and then we can discuss our tops.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next 10 are I put asterisks next to them because they're top tier, but they're not mainstream for all players, but they're impossible to find type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So first would be the Adrian Beltre 98 Atomic, the ghost of a ghost card. I found one of them one time ever, which I wish I just kept it, but who knows what this would go for now? I have no idea. At the time, it was like $3,000, but they're not serial numbered. But the state, if you do, if you base it off the odds, which again I'm not doing, but you could estimate 25, which I actually, based on the fact you never see him ever, I can kind of agree with that. There are a couple other plays in the set. Chipper Jones is a big one, and I think Scott Rowland. But again, that's just one most people probably don't even know about it because you never see it. Piece of history bat set. This was stretched from 99 to 04, and it was, besides the Griffey, McGuire, and I think Rafael Palmeiro, they were all numbered to their jersey. You have Babe Ruth, who's a cut signature, Mickey Mantle, who's a cut. So this set is just I actually thought they sold way more than they actually do, but they still have a very strong following, especially on the PSA registry. There's a guy on Instagram, Goldbard. He's got a lot of them in PSA 10. So just
yeah. Is the Ruth and the Mantle? I can't remember. Are those 1 of 1s or of 3?
I think they're of 3.
Okay. Yeah.
I know one of them's of 3. I think the Mantle actually might be a 1 of 1.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was trying to pull that list up, but
the Ruth I think was in 99 Upper Deck.
Yeah, the Ruth.
Yeah.
Because for those that don't know, they stretched across all different Upper Deck brands. So Ionics had a couple players, and if you go to Baseball Cardpedia, there's a pretty good breakdown of it. So you get a rough idea of who's in what set. Obviously the Griffey Mantle you covered. Again, I had a couple of these recently where I did authenticate. I just did authentic. So people that don't understand, they usually beat up. And then a lot of them are short, really short. So PSA will just grade them authentic. So if something's authentic, 99% of the time there's a reason for it, because I remember somebody newer in our group, shout out Jason, he was like, oh, let's just go buy up all these. I'm like, if it was that easy, I would already be a millionaire, So there's a reason why, some of the stuff doesn't get graded. And then this card.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
the co-signers quad.
Quad.
I forgot to look up the odds, but I think there's only five, like rumored to be 5. And then one popped up years ago, and somebody bought it for 10 grand. And then I know another one came up for a steal that ended up like the guy I think went back on his jumped in the mail slot and took it back because somebody offered him more money. But this is just a huge card. With four great players.
Yeah,
you never see.
Jeter collectors and the few chipper collectors that compete with Bruce know how hard it is to find this card and how valuable it is. So,
yeah, and then there's also, I didn't look up all the players. I know there's one with Juan Gonzalez and somebody else. So there's a few different ones with four players that just they're like one in 25,000 packs or something.
Yeah.
Then I put the souvenirs. So this set, it's only Griffey and Chipper Jones. The Chipper Jones is to 10. So obviously this one you're not going to see very often. Then this is one. Did we discuss it
Oh,
already?
we tell it again.
Yeah.
It's
so
worth
this
it.
this one again is not. It's I actually like the pose and the background is nice. So maybe they could have put some foil, but comes out of Invincible, and as you can see right here on the back, there's only 10 of them, and you redeemed it for a poster. So Rick had the one with the poster, so he had the big ass poster. And usually with the 90s, when you redeem stuff, they put the little star punch right there. This one was actually found by a guy in a Griffey group in a random eBay lot for I think it was $300, just chilling in a bunch of comments. Like nobody had a clue what they had, and
it looks like one. Looks like a common, yeah.
And if you've never seen the set before, you'd have no clue what it is. You would just think it's a random Pacific, 1 in 3 pack insert or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to find random stuff like this. Even in the shout out to our group, somebody posted yesterday a bunch of random cards. I guess his father passed away. R.I.P. to your father, but he had a random Pop 1 50th anniversary PSA 10 and a bunch of base cards, and that's a very big card. So it's like you have to. Somebody asked this before in the 90s group the other day, what do they think is still in packs? I think 50% is accounted for in hardcore collections, and the other 50%, in my opinion, is randomly out there.
I'd even go higher of more out there. I would say less are still in packs, and others are just you just don't know. They haven't been uncovered yet.
And then we got another one from Crown Royale. Again, a lot of these specific products were not very good, and you really couldn't hit much. So this one, they didn't even put it on the pack, but you can see the little that's embossed right there, which makes it different. And then
that's nice.
I've seen 10 different colored autographs too. Some are red,
I've seen green and red. Yeah.
And most of them are faded like this, so you use the worst of the worst pens ever. But there's only 8 of them. So, so this is making it. They were running out of money. They couldn't even cut their stretch. But this is just one of those inserts that you never see because it's impossible.
This is the first and only one I've ever seen with Griffey. So
because I remember seeing a Mark McGuire, and then somebody just posted a Manny, and then it was maybe 2 others, but they just never pop up. And then so you got the Galaxy and the Luminaries. I think there's a third one too, right? The other subset, the
Supernovas, I think.
Yeah, the Supernovas.
That's for young stars.
Yeah. This set to me was always I don't even know if it, again, this is why it's asterisked off, because to me, being 5, I don't think they would bring the money of a truly rare set, but they're cool. But Top Stars just seems to get a second, third tier rep, And I actually got this one off eBay. Somebody pulled this recently, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I forgot what group it was in, but that was cool. And then a couple more, and then we can discuss the top. I got 2 more. This set is prime mystery numbers, all different numbered card. So the Griffey, I didn't. Chris Kudowski has it on his website. I forgot to take the picture. So the Griffey is 2, which is probably the lowest non-101 Griffey of the 90s. And then I think Babe Ruth is 101. And it's just a bunch of like low numbered numbers. So this set is just like pretty tough to find your player.
I think the Frank is numbered to 6. So I think I've seen that in the group, in the 90s group on Facebook.
Has it in the group.
Yeah.
And then my last, because my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My top, I have a top 11, we'll call it.
Okay.
So, but this is the last
of top
prime numbers. So again, with going with the theme of Donruss, Leaf, Pinnacle, for whatever reason, they decided to number everything in succession. So as you can see, it says it's 294, which so weird is like we've talked about this like a million times, and like people still list. Did you see the other one that got listed?
Yeah, well, I saw you got it.
Yeah.
Like
it's just crazy. It still happens as much as it does, but because I remember I had a Ripken once to 7, so like I think it's all the third number of all the players is the low numbered one. So like the Griffey is only 4, Thomas is like 6 or 7. I know Ripken's 7.
I think Chipper's 9. Could be wrong.
So basically, whenever one of these pops up, I just go to Beckett.com and check the print run.
Yep.
Because Griffey has another one that's I think the 2 or the 9 is 90. So that's the other top one. Again, these are like stealth inserts that I remember when this sold, everybody was asking me, what the hell is that? Like nobody had even a clue what it was, They just thought it was the 294. So that ends my like asterisk ones, and then I got my top 11. So
all right. So I'll share mine and go into the top tier, and we can just kind of talk about it because we're going to overlap a lot. So. All right. So we'll start off with this, and some of the comments here. What up, Al? Chris? Some of your top tier 2 cards are in land. Yeah. Well, you'll see those right now. Which ones I had in tier 1. What up, Anthony?
What Jeremy just said is like probably the most annoying thing because the Griffey I just got didn't pass authentication. I can't talk right now, but
Jeremy, what happened? How come it didn't pass?
It didn't. It said it was mislisted, but they still sent it to me. Thank the Lord.
Oh man!
Because the guy even put his like Instagram name in his eBay listings, so I'm like, oh man, But luckily, I still got it because that whole. But somebody else today messaged me asking me about a basketball super rave, and I looked at it right away, and I'm like, yeah, that's fake. So I mean, it can't help you if you're buying something big, but. On stuff that we know is real, it is annoying to get it rejected. Yeah.
Alan's saying on the Ruby's Griffey, it's a different, and I can see that point too. It's a different. You almost never see pictures of him running, so it's a decent running slide. And Ben, I remember you mentioned something about the laser cutting and the fusion titaniums from 99 molten metal. Yeah, I think that's other than I think 96 metal had platinum portraits as well, but it was like a 1 in 8 insert, so it was really common. So I think it's the first time that laser etching was used on a high-end insert in baseball. So, so starting, I've got like I said, 8 cards here in tier 1.
Tell you what, run through them. I'll run through mine, and then we'll go back and discuss.
Sounds good. So we got the 99 EX nows at number 8. Number 7, I have the 98 Red Crusades. At number 6, at the 98 PMGs. That cheater pose with the background is so badass. Number 5, we have number 6, we have the Team Mirror Golds from 97 Pinnacle Certified. Number 5, I'm separating out the Mirror Gold Pastime Powers since there's two in the same two Mirror Gold versions in the same set. Number 4 are the 98 A Piece of the Action game jersey autographs. It's 3 people. Griffey obviously is by far the best of the 3. That's just the back of it. These are number to 24. Number 2 are the 96 Mirror Golds, the base version. And number 1 are the 98 EX Nows for the superstar players. So, you want me to kick back to you, or just leave this up and you can talk?
Yeah, I'll run through my top. So this is my top 11, 12 maybe. So I just run through them. So this is what I have. Hold on, share. So honestly, I would have put this even lower, but obviously because of the values of most of the players, like I mean, I put it higher. That's kind of like least favorite set of of mine. But so then I got, we'll call this number 10. So 1, 2, 3. Hold on, sorry. 1, 2. So yeah, Crusades my number 9. 8, I have the game jerseys together. So maybe this is a little higher then. No, that's 8. So this is 7 is the PMGs, 6 24Ks. Purple Kramers. To me, like straight up sale. Like I know, somebody we both know is holding one of these hostage. Do I think that would? Do I think it would go that big at auction? I don't know.
I don't think
possible,
so either.
But I still hold it like high up on my list, the Purple Kramers. But it is kind of boring looking actually. EX Nows, 99s, Mirror Teams, Mirror Golds, and I'm actually not even a huge fan of this set. Do I wish I got the Griffey for 9K last year? Yes, but like overall, it's not like one of my favorites. And then my number 1 overall set is 98 EX Now, and then so I put these 2 at the. I don't have the other one. So to me, I think this is like. It could be debatable. The best raw card of the 90s to me is this. The best PSA 10 of the 90s, excluding the 93 SP is like obviously like ridiculous, 500,000. I think this would outsell the Miracle Jeter Raw. But I think it's debatable. But as a PSA 10, obviously the Jeter sold for like 200 grand a couple of years ago. So even that could go. Who even knows at this point? So yeah. So it's
here, let me share. Yeah, so we can leave these up. Yeah, it's easy to talk about. But like, I mean, the 98 and 99 EX Nows, I think I guess like talking about all of these tier 1s, I think the big difference between the 2 is, I mean, 98 was the first year that they did futures and nows, and they stand out, I think, a lot more than the 99s. I think actually the 99 base set is better looking than the 98s. I mean, that's kind of like splitting hairs.
Yeah.
But the essential credential nows, I mean, look at it. It's either silver versus like this neon green, and whether or not you're a flashy person, anybody can kind of tell at first glance, well, there's nothing out there that looks like a 98 EX now, regardless of the player. And I think that helps it stand out even more. And then, of course, the superstar players are in the single digits to the teens. So I think those are the reasons why it stands out so much more. But the 99s kind of just get overlooked, kind of like the 99 PMGs. And, well, when you look at the 98 PMG, you can tell why. I mean, this pattern has only been used twice. The 2000 SPX Radiances stole that look. But I personally, like, out of all these, I think the best looking is the Team Mirrors from 97. Like, that's my number 1 card, like, design wise, I think ever made.
Yeah, that's
They're just
yeah, but looks wise is the mirror team for me probably.
yeah, yeah. And the mirror golds, like I'm with you. It's out of all these on this list, I mean, it would be at the bottom. Maybe the EX Nows from '99 would be at the bottom, but it's just, I mean, this is a part of one of those things where I think, same with the Crusade, it's so popular. It's an iconic set. I mean, '96 Select Certified changed the game in baseball. So I think any like football or basketball collector might be wondering, like, what's the deal with the hype with the '96 Select Certified? It's like, well, I mean, that's what we had instead of the PMG Emeralds or Rubies in '96. So this was our first lowest numbered insert. And yeah, it's not serial numbered, but there's 30 of them, and everybody anecdotally can back up the fact that you never see these. They're stated with a print run of 30, and everyone believes it because you never see star players.
Yeah, that one is definitely locked in.
Yeah,
sure.
And then like this is, you bring up a good point. Like, yeah, one of these hasn't hit like open auction in I think like 12 years. I think the last one was, and it went for 10K. And like back then, like I think that was around like 2012, 2013, a Griffey card going for 10K was like completely unheard of.
Yeah.
So,
and they even at the time was our buddy Sean, and they thought it was Sean and Dave, and they thought they were killing each other. That's how crazy it was.
Exactly. And this card, like everyone thinks about the game jersey from '97, Upper Deck, or like the mirror or the mantle Griffey Auto, and like even you have the mirror golds and the PMGs. But this card is like akin to the Jordan 90 All-Star Game jersey autograph, numbered to 23 in baseball. Like, yeah, it's not Griffey's All-Star Game. It's not numbered to 23. It's numbered to 24. It is kind of a plain patch. But this is the first game jersey auto in baseball. And Griffey, of course, is leading the way, just like he did with popularity in the 90s on everything. So this is one of the most iconic cards, in my opinion, even though it may not be common knowledge or popular knowledge.
I think I can tie in Ben's comment. He said, "Joe, did you see the post where the guy paid for Griffey to sign the piece of the action? It looks good. Are you worrying about hurting the original market?" And that's no, because the piece of the action has a cert on the back and it's numbered. And even there was a write-up in the last PSA magazine. I don't know if anybody saw that. I posted it on my stories. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. But I think that was Basel that did that. And but he posted, "Oh, people don't appreciate it." I don't think people don't appreciate it. Like, you has to be one to appreciate. If you can't buy it, one of these hits open market. So like, we'll tie this into what we talked about, like buy it now or pay more later and regrets. Like the one you have the picture of that we both had access to, or who bought it or whatever. But going back, I wish I just made just kept saying a number until he said yes. Hindsight's 2020, and I knew this for years, and I had probably the means to do it if I thought hard enough, and I didn't. And I just want to share this one. So I bought this copy on eBay a couple of years ago, and then each sport is kind of littered with you got fakes, you got all sorts of stuff. So this one, as you can see, it's got the actual KGS, which the regular game jersey just has a KG. And then the regular one that's not autographed is machine stamped at 300. So the guy I got it from claimed he pulled it in '98 and had it in his safe forever. So basically, either he's lying, but so either
where he got it,
where would you get this? To me, it's just an employee fucked up with a replacement. It makes no sense, the numbering at all. And if you were gonna fake number it, you'd fake number it to 24, and it's in the same handwriting style. So. I'm kind of just mad I got a bootleg one, but one day I want a real one. But again, there's different things in the '90s that exist like that, where it's it's still cool to have, Yep.
And to your point here, I mean, I know we can't do a side by side, but this is the back of that copy that we were both talking about. We should have just both gone after it, but that's the same style as the one that you have that's 74 out of 300.
Yeah.
And I think the
Yep.
key to yours is it still has that same. It has the text. It says you've received a
Sir.
card that's been personally autographed by Ken Griffey Jr. It has that number in the back too with the KGS. So it's there. It's the same thing. It's just like it's a unique card, and that's just an employee copy. And somehow the guy had it, but now it's yours. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. You know, it's
Yeah.
people are still gonna want it. It's just like it kind of it sucks not having like the 100% real thing. Just like recently there was I say recently, but it could have been like a year ago.
Mhm.
Uncut sheet of EX Now was hit auction. I forgot which company it was, but like I really thought about getting that. You know, like where else because like now a lot of the Griffies are locked up. You know, and no matter what type of offer you make, people, somebody asked this before that I was arguing with on Instagram about like everybody calls everything a grail. Like a grail is not something that's just,
readily available.
Disrespect to the guy in our group, but he's got a 99 Bauman Best Atomic subset Griffey. And he's like, oh, grail. It's not a grail. A grail to me is something like that auto that comes up once in 12 years, or a mirror team that like it's a huge card and it cannot be found. Your subset 96 gold. No, I don't like the pastime powers, but like that's the only one I've ever seen. You don't stuff like that. You just don't see. That's a grail. That's something that comes up once or twice a year, and that's a hot topic with you can call it anything you want a grail, and whatever makes
it does get it's a buzzword now. It gets thrown around, but like any collector in 90s that knows like any of these tiers, they'll understand which card really is. And everybody has their opinion on what a grail is, but like to the true definition of it, it's like a grail is not easily found. And if you're a player collector going out to any of these, that's a grail for your PC. Any card in this top 8 or even the top 2.
Yeah. I mean, so I posted something the other day, like basically if you're starting 90s and like now, you kind of fucked. Like shout out to Paul corner taking quickly. Like what he's amassed in the past year, or even Jason, I think it's a testament to finding people like me and you that are willing to facilitate cards like that. Because like there's a lot of Griffey guys, we'll use Griffey as the example, but I'm sure it's all players too, where they're just hoarding stuff. They're not willing to move anything. They don't need to, nor do they want to. No amount of money is going to get them to move some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's an important part is how easy it is to find. Like if you find it, that's half the battle. The other half is getting it, and we've always talked about this before. Money doesn't buy you everything. It just doesn't. You can have all the money in the world, and if you find something, you may not be able to get it just because you have endless pockets. And that's where it's like all the guys that came before us, and with their Griffey PC specifically, that's why they have what they have, because they're not paying today's prices, and they've had this for years. So and that's what a lot of people don't understand is like from. I can't it like disappear now, but I remember looking a sale up for in 2009 a Mirror Team Gold sold Griffey for $105. So from 05 to 09, like Griffey was literally just be like you could just go get whatever you wanted. Get whatever you want.
It's free 99. The biggest sale I think was a 99, the 99 EX Now BGS 95 sold for $4,000.
Yeah.
When they sell that, they're gonna make some money.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, this the top tier, we're pretty close. It's pretty cool to see. One thing that I guess I can kind of wrap. It's kind of a boring thing, but it's a share of the one of ones tier, and I'll quickly go over this just so.
Yeah, bring them up. In my opinion, like out of all the 90s 1-to-1s, to me, there's like 5 I would consider must-haves, or like would want to have to me.
Yeah. So I'll zoom in a little bit more here, so you can see it better. But I split out the flares by row. But honestly, if you just said Gem, like you said,
99
5.
gems.
Yeah, I would say this and this. Those are 2, and then any other of the Flair masterpieces would be 3. Um, the Gem Masters would be 4, and then take your pick of what number 5 could be. It could be the 98 Ultra. It could be the Mirror Team, the Mirror Artist Proof from Pinnacle Plus, or it
To
could
me,
be the
I would
99.
say the mirror artist proof, and then the black, the
Yeah,
97 mirror black.
yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't put the Mirror Black on here, just because. Well, I mean, I haven't seen a picture of it. I'm not saying I don't deny that it exists. You know, we've obviously heard that it, and someone has seen it.
Yeah. And then
But
I would
yeah,
think it exists if they,
I
all,
think it does too. But
and
you know,
then,
just for, I guess, information purposes, so people aren't out there thinking, oh, the Mirror Team exists or the
and then,
Mirror Block exists. But yeah,
yeah. And an
so.
unofficial one you don't have is the call to arms Griffey's.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't go unreleased cards. I didn't include
A lot
any
of
of
anything
those.
unreleased and possible one-on-ones, those are like the only ones to me that like stand out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Um, but you'll see a theme here. Like tier 2 level one-on-ones would be gold labels because they had so many of them. Some of the upper deck one-of-ones from 99, and then like the 98 subset masterpieces. And then the tier 3 one-of-ones are all up the upper deck one-of-ones from 99. The Sports Illustrated one-of-ones and the press plates round out the bottom, because those can be had for
like those to me are like throwaways. Like,
yeah, those can be under 500 bucks. It's crazy because you see these one-of-ones that are like 500, and then you see a Gem Masters which would be like over 100K, if not more.
Like the base Gem Masters, who even knows? Like, you know, if somebody like Nat wants it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just something to note. At least in the tier 1 one-of-ones, you have like the Mystique masterpieces. I think the longevity one-of-one from Rookie and Stars are cool, and then everyone kind of forgets the SPX Finite. Those are really badass looking, and just they have a completely different look. So that's kind of the bonus tier I'll share. So that is, I think that's all we got. So
yeah,
this was a good 3-part episode. It lasted, I think, over a month and a half. So appreciate everyone tuning in across all 3. And then, what do you want to talk about next? I know we've thrown out a couple of ideas.
Yeah, next. I mean, if anybody's watching has ideas, to me it would be like more of like I see so much Sky is full on content on
Instagram.
Instagram, and maybe because I follow the same few people, and a lot of things just kind of get annoying. Like to me, we could talk about, a lot of people think Gary Vee pumped the market, but I think just Gary Vee was like uninformed of the market, meaning he got back into collecting like the rest of it. So like me and you, we have an understanding of, a Mirror Team Gold is actually rare.
Yeah.
And, once you buy that, it's pretty much solidified in value, or, it's not going to go down 800% because literally you're going to keep it and it's not going to sell for a decade. Whereas the people that the past 2 years came into the hobby, they had to learn. So, we're buying up PSA 10s because they just think that's the thing to do. But if there's 20,000 of them, of a base card, it's not going to hold value. So, I mean, we could touch on some of those topics of like how the errors are different and like knowing what to buy and more of knowledge of the hobby.
Yeah, I like that. We could also that's a great topic to talk about because it's relevant now. I think another thing we could do, which would be fun, would be talk about like tiering, like demand of the different players from the 90s.
Oh yeah, we should do that one because somebody posted that in the 90s insert group, so we could do that one next for sure. Tie into this of sells what and break down each player and because that's my buddy Matt, he does a lot of he'll buy a lot of lots and sell players. And what's funny about the 90s is like guys that don't have a lot of inserts sell ridiculously stupid. So like say a Griffey's like $20 in like a semi rare insert set. Ryan Sandberg is 600. That's a rare.
Yeah, or even like the '93 Cooperstown set with like Dale
Yeah.
Murphy, and like those are like Joe Carter's Kirby. Any Kirby Puckett I feel like sells really well
Yeah,
too.
Kirby Puck is pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you one example, and I don't want to blow a spot up, but like 98 Pacific, the silver foil to 67, like,
Mhm.
everybody's $10. Like, legit, Ryan Sandberg just sold for $650.
Oh man,
So
I
it's
didn't
like,
see that.
it's kind of knowing your market. I still remember a couple of years ago. So 95 Upper Deck, the Electric Diamond Gold Series 2,
Oh
for
yeah,
whatever reason, are rare. And
yeah,
Alan Trammell got like $330 at auction.
yeah.
You know,
Alan
so
Trammell, and I think if Travis Fryman was like on, there's a bounty for a Travis Fryman for like
yeah,
hundreds of dollars, and when you think about how much a Travis Fryman card sells for, that's like
it should be
300x.
$1. You could so like I mean that's where the knowledge comes in. Like when you go
Yeah,
to the national, half of this stuff is out there in those boxes, just waiting
that's
to be
where.
found.
Yeah, hmm,
You just got to know how to sell it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
same,
All right,
even like
sweet.
so.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll come to y'all again soon with some of these with player tier, market, whatnot. So thanks again
Yeah.
as always, Joe.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. See you.
See you guys.